One of the things I keep learning as I grow in the spiritual life is that I realize that life is not dualistic, one thing or the other. That all of our life is to be whole and integrated, and we're moving toward that way in our spiritual life. That is the message in the gospel today: wholeness and holiness. Today's gospel, we hear a version of the beatitudes, attitudes of blessings and woes for living the life of discipleship. The beatitudes were an ancient formula for doing good. And each beatitude in Luke's gospel has a corresponding woe, a blessing, a beatitude of blessing, and a beatitude of woe. For example, blessed are the poor, woe to the rich. Blessed those who are hungry, woe to those who are full. Blessed are you weeping, woe to you laughing. Blessed those who are hated, woe to those held in high regard. It is almost like this is a values checklist for how we let go and be, and how we place our trust in God in living this life of discipleship. That sense of wholeness and integration, blessings and woes are part of our human experience. We get the full package of the human life. We all encounter them just by the mere fact of being human. Think about it in your own life. Who of us has not been hungry? Be that for a nourishing life, for health, or for relationships. Who of us has not been poor? Be that financially, spiritually, or relationally. And who of us have not wept from the depths of our being, or been despised or ridiculed or bullied by someone? The Beatitudes are really attitudes of being that encompass the whole of our life. And maybe that's what Christ is really saying to us, that we are not alone when we encounter blessings or woes in our lives. The Beatitudes, this formula for living the life of discipleship, is meant to free us, to call us to have an open stance towards God that gives us hope, and when we need it, to challenge us when we need it. Gives us hope in our pain and comfort in our difficulty. Likewise, the woes also urge us to let go of anything that gets in the way of our relationship with God. It's almost like the woes are saying, is there anything keeping you from living a life fully with God? The Beatitudes help us stay focused. Both blessings and woes are about freedom, creating space for God. It is God who defines us. And these Beatitudes help keeping us dial in to who God is for us in life. We are called to rely totally upon God, because God is the energy that makes life possible. And our dependence on this life is through a viable relationship with God, in community, in our relationships through one another and our loved ones, and in the solitude of that relationship with ourselves, with our relationship with God, in all of it, the integrated whole. These Beatitudes are the mindset of Christ. How we live with our heart and our mind and our spirit and our actions. Open to God, listening with our heart, paying attention to God with all of our being. These Beatitudes call us to this radical trust in God, no matter when we are experiencing blessings or woes in life and everything else in between. We come to God open and empty, giving space for God to move in and to receive God's presence. When we are called to love and serve one another, we do that with an openness of heart, a readiness of spirit, and a willingness to be transformed. Then the Beatitudes become a reality for us and for the world in how we love and serve one another. This week in today's gospel, Christ promises us something better, like he did with the disciples when he looked at them and said, "Blessed are you," and "Woe are you." A promise that we are not alone. For when we are poor, Christ calls us to trust. When we are hungry, Christ fills us with hope. And when we weep and mourn, Christ is with us as companion and friend and compassion and love. This week, the Beatitudes call us to go deeper with God and with one another. May the blessings and woes in our life create that space for God, for this God of love, this God of energy, this God of unconditional, energetic love that makes life possible today. Amen.